Hi, this is Christina Bailey, and we're taking a look at the second website regarding the form and function assignment. And this one is the one I chose on my essay for poor form and function, and so it's Viking Yacht Cruises. Before we get started on deconstructing the website, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual site in its entirety so you can see what it actually was designed like. As you can see, it's actually a very text-heavy site. There was not a lot of information above the fold line. Go back up there and show you here. Okay. Your eye is kind of drawn to this main image. This is a slideshow image. It's not clickable. There's just information here. It doesn't take you anywhere. The other thing that really strikes me about this site is your eye really doesn't know where to go. As you go down the page, your eye is bouncing back and forth with these images. And it's also focusing on this big text, and then we have some subheader text, we have red text. It's not quite, your eye isn't quite sure what it should be focusing on when it comes to this site. The other thing, we do have, of course, top navigation in through here. And unfortunately, not a lot of contrast when it comes to some of these menu items, but fortunately when you roll over them the contrast becomes a lot better. We have the darker blue background with the white text, so that is more readable. And the other thing about this navigation is that these upper links, the secondary navigation in through here, or the first level navigation, actually is not clickable. So you click on it and it doesn't take you anywhere. Same with the secondary navigation. It's not till you get to the tertiary level that you click on it and it actually does take you somewhere. So not as user-friendly in that regard. So it does take you to a nice itinerary of Croatia, but again, very, very text-heavy. And so what we do find, though, if you go to the site map, is you'll find, let's go back to Croatia here, you'll find that that link actually is a clickable link, that first level of navigation. Unfortunately, where it takes you is to a default server page. So again, not very user-friendly there, and no easy way to get out except for your back button. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that back button. And as you can see also on this website, kind of that main color scheme is going to be, again, the same as P&O Cruises. It's more of that marine theme. We have the use of that kind of that moody gray. We have that middle blue in through here, and so very marine oriented. With that, let's go ahead and start deconstructing this site. So we're going to disable those page colors. Now with that, we've lost our background image, or our branding in through here. We've also lost that gray band. And so as a result of that, it's also impacted some of our navigation in through here. As you can see, until we roll over these, they're very difficult to read, but once we roll over them, the contrast becomes good. So just hopefully you're not trying to read that last one, which actually says charter a yacht. So again, a little problematic there. So, and as we head down the web page, you can see that this border has changed. It's used to be kind of that middle blue, that kind of sea blue. Now it's towards charcoal. And then all our images, their border colors have also changed. They were a really, really light gray. And now this one actually is turned into kind of a link border on this image. So the other thing that's impacted is these text links down below. These were again kind of that same middle blue that we had up above. Now these have changed to more of a default color instead. So those are the impacts removing the page colors. Let's go ahead and restore that. Okay, and let's go ahead and disable those images. Okay, again, we lost our background image, but what we gained instead here is a little link that tells us that we're on Viking Yacht Cruises. And we've got some more impacts with our navigation here. It's very, very difficult to read until you actually roll over it, and then again the contrast becomes quite fine. So, but until then it's really kind of tough to read. So of course we lost our eye candy, our little slideshow in here. And also those images, now your eye is still bouncing around a little bit, just maybe because of these borders, but not nearly as bad as with the color images. The other thing that we've lost is these tabs down below. In fact, there's nothing to indicate that they were ever there. And so, so that's might be an impact to some users. Okay, let's go ahead and restore those images. Okay, let's go ahead and disable the CSS. Okay, so now we've removed most of the form of the website, and so it really doesn't look too bad. In fact, I find the text actually now is a lot more readable, and your eye isn't as distracted with the different colors of fonts and things like that. We still have some bold use, but with the use of the serif font, the Times New Roman, it's a little easier for me to read instead of that bulky sans serif font that was there before. Your images are also not bouncing around quite as much as they were before. And we have our little tabs back down below there. So the only truly distracting thing when we remove the CSS is still the navigation here. We bounce around on the navigation as the result of these sub menus. So just like I said, a little distracting on that part. So let's go ahead and remove the images. Page colors and CSS. So we're taking it down to the bare bones now. Again, we have that same use of the the navigation and the sub navigation in through here, which is going to bounce us around a bit. But beyond that, I actually think this is a lot more readable of a site than before, so maybe a little more user-friendly than it was. So let's go ahead and re-enable everything. The other difficult thing about this website is it's not real easy to tell how to book one of these trips. I mean, we've got plenty of itineraries and things like that, places that it tells you where to go, what to do, and things like that, but until you have to click on the contact button in order to make a reservation. Other than that, there's no real easy link to be able to tell that where to go. Okay, with that, we're going to go ahead and linearize this page. And this is a mostly linear page in the first place, but there's a few impacts as a result of putting this into the linearize function. And so what we find is that it mostly impacts the navigation. You can see here that we still have this bouncing around, but what it's doing is it's bouncing it over here to the left, but we can't get here in time to click one of these links over here, so the navigation becomes unusable at this point. So, except for, I guess, right there, I think we can still get to something. No, we can't. So other than that, our eye is not bouncing anymore. Most of these pictures now are left justified, and so our eye isn't bouncing all over the page anymore, which is kind of a nice thing. So those are really the biggest impact as a result of linearizing this page is with the navigation. Okay, let's go ahead and take that off, and we're going to go ahead and put this into the small screen rendering. And as a result of small screen rendering, we have huge space commitment here. And that's again because of all these submenus that we have. It's reserving a lot of space for them. And so that's not very user-friendly, but other than that, the site isn't really too bad. Still obviously very text-heavy and dense with text, but other than that, the images don't look too bad or anything like that. So okay, so let's go ahead and back to our original form and function of this website. And so Viking Yacht Cruises might gain a little functionality when the form is removed, but in general, I still feel that it does have some issues with regards to both form and function. Thank you very much for your time.